Hi guys, it's Camille. It's a little rainy today. It's super dark and gloomy and it's pouring on and off as typical Florida weather does. That's why the lighting is a little wonky. I'm just using what bedroom lighting I have. I don't have proper film lighting. Sorry. But you know, despite all of that, today is a special day. And not because it's St. Patrick's Day today. Don't let the fact that I'm wearing green fool you. No, today is March 17th, and you may ask, why is March 17th an important date to you if you're not going to acknowledge St. Patrick's Day? Well, let me tell you. March 17th of 2025 was the final operating day for It's Tough to Be a Bug over at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Located inside the Tree of Life, It's Tough to Be a Bug was a 4D attraction that had been entertaining and terrifying adults and children alike since the park opened back in 1998. That was until Disney decided to pull the plug and close the attraction permanently March 17th, 2025, in order to make way for a new 4D experience called Zootopia, Better, Zoogether. After an 8-month closure, the Tree of Life officially reopened to guests as Zootopia, Better, Zoogether on November 7th, 2025. I was able to go to the park on November 5th during one of those annual pass holder previews, and I got to check out the show for myself, to which my opinions of it were strong, to say the least, and not entirely in a positive way. I will preface that by saying that at the time I had not watched Zootopia, at all. In fact, I did not see the film until just recently, earlier this year. But aside from that too, upon reviewing the footage, while I was happy with what I got of the show itself, I wasn't happy with how much footage I had gotten of the main queue and especially the holding area before you're let into the main theater. There's a ton of little details that I wasn't able to capture properly during the preview day. And so after 4 months, I had gone back to Animal Kingdom earlier this month in March of 2026 to check out the show to see if my opinion had changed, especially since I had now seen Zootopia. So in today's video, I'm going to take you guys along with me as we go watch Zootopia, Better, Zoogether. I'm going to show you guys the entirety of the queue, the main holding area right before you're let into the theater, and of course, we're going to watch the 9-minute film together, you and me. And then afterwards, I'm going to take a sec to sit down and put my 2 cents in on what I think of this new show. So come with me, we're gonna take a walk through the Tree of Life and we're gonna learn a lot about Zoogether Day, and I'm excited to take you all with me. Without further ado, let's go. Look at the tree, she's so pretty. And not too far from the tree is Zootopia, Better Together. And this is where we have to check in for annual pass holder previews.
All districts, stand by! This is it! Please, no such pictures or video made during the watch party. Our nocturnal friends, thank you. And if things get too wild, walk. Do not stampede to the door on your left. Here we go! Glasses on, everyone! Let's get wild! Crack the code! Zootopia! I want to hear you roar! Because we're live in 3, 2, it's Zoogether Day! Special live performances from across Zootopia. An unforgettable concert finale from superstar their host, me, Happy Howler. Happy Zoogether Day! Today we celebrate our communal existence, our shared environment, and our sacred responsibility to party! And surprise, one of you will kick off the show as our Zoogether Day V.I.Z. And what's your name, my spotted friend?
Benjamin Clawhauser!
Benji, you have the best seat in the house to watch it all go down. Now your job, press that big red button. Be responsible.
Which button?
That's totally standard. Okay.
Oh, this one.
No.
That one?
Flashing
I'm
one.
really bad at
You
this.
still miss the camera.
Maybe the giant blinking one?
Yes.
Wow!
This is gonna be a blast.
Miss Howler? Are you okay?
Think you're feeling behind.
Say what?
Hey,
Hey! Oh, Country Town! No. Oh, there he is. Please welcome our cold weather correspondent, Laszlo! Laszlo!
Predator prey, nice dancings, balance of nature, Zoogether strong like mother. White snowflakes on fire.
Judy! Nick!
Hauser, did you do this?
I have no idea! Just breathe, big guy, okay? Hey, try counting your spots.
Nick, I think we may be looking at criminal sabotage.
Yep, no ifs, ands, or buts. Except that button. Partner, you want to grab a leg?
Detectives Hobson Wild investigating.
I'm sure she's fine.
Other celebrations could be in danger. Where to next?
Oh, on to Marsh Market. Stay sharp, donuts. Oh, donuts. No, stay focused. On to Marsh Market. Celebrating the life-giving waters that keep us all better together.
The march is right up. Why sabotage Zoogether Day?
Okay, Jared, I'll check the pipes while you interview the witnesses.
I can help you. Nichols, we need to know if anyone saw anything.
Okay. Hey bub. Hey bub. Hey bub. Hey bub. Hey bub. Hey bub. See who did this?
Seriously? It's clogged with wool.
And my face.
Where to next, Clubhouser?
Little rodentia!
Time to make up the tree.
That's wrong.
reasons I cannot.
Dream a dream. Make a wish on a whisker. As a team. Here we go. Joining up as brother, sister.
Put your paw in mine.
We're pouncing toward a better day. Yikes.
It'll intertwine. We raise our hearts and say,
Really?
hop on our train of thought.
I think they've seen a lot. We love what we got. It's a melting pot. We are united in every way. Neighbor to neighbor. So raise your voices, come on and say. Let's all unite for Zoogether.
We love you, Zootopia.
And that was Zootopia Better Zoogether. So you may be wondering, Miss Ma'am, what did you think of it? Well, like I alluded to at the beginning of this, my initial reaction seeing the show for the first time was not exactly a positive one. That was one of the biggest reasons why I decided to go this month, now that the attraction's been open for a little bit, and I now have the context of the first film to go by. And for the record, I like the movie. Okay, the movie is fine for what it is. Beautifully animated, it has a nice message, albeit sometimes they bash you over the head with said message. I like the relationship between Nick and Judy. I think some of the side characters are really cute, specifically the Godfather shrews. And yet, even with that context that I have from the first movie, and knowing what I was getting myself into and thinking, well, maybe with a fresh pair of eyes, now that I've seen it a few months ago and now the hype has kind of died down, maybe my opinion would soften. My opinion did soften on some aspects, but not overall. I will start off with some positives though, because there are positives to the attraction. Most notably, the actual film was very well made. Disney decided to utilize their main animation studio to create the ride film, and you can see the money on the screen. Everything looks great. Everything looks so lifelike and fluid. It's a cute little short film from an animation and a technical standpoint. Of course, now that I have the context of the first film in mind, a good majority of the characters in the attraction are very likable. Obviously, you got Nick and Judy in there, although they're not in the attraction as much as I would have figured they would have been. The aforementioned Godfather shrew characters make an appearance in this, which just made me extremely happy. There's several characters in this that I didn't realize until after I did some research. They are from the sequel Zootopia too. The attraction also made a big deal about having Gazelle making an appearance in the attraction, who was the singing animal that's voiced by Shakira in both films. Although she does not sing in this.
I hear you sing, Zootopia. For legal reasons, I cannot.
So when I was researching the attraction, I guess there was some legitimate truth to that line about not being able to sing the song legally, because Shakira has contractual obligations with Sony. She's not allowed to sing for Disney, I guess? I don't know how that works, but it was very amusing to learn regardless. And then on a final note, for one of the positives that I had with the ride were all the fun little jokes and gags that were hidden within the main lobby of the queue. Not nearly enough musical theater references for my liking personally. However, they did have a really fun fake playbill for a bunny version of Les Miserables. I love it. They also had a little flyer with in-universe parodies of different Disney movies. The Paw Dora jewelry display was also a lot of fun to look at. And one final detail that made me smile a lot was when you got to learn the new lore for the Tree of Life and Zoogether Day as a whole. The second to last poster has a bunch of mice construction workers, and one of them was designed to look like Joe Rohde, who was the Imagineer behind the creation of Animal Kingdom. So that was cool. So that's where my list of positives for the attraction end. The first point against the attraction that I have is within the queue itself. The main outdoor portions of the queue was virtually the same as it was with It's Tough to Be a Bug, except for one major detail, and that would happen to be these massive awnings that they have throughout the majority of the outdoor portions of the line, specifically closest to the Tree of Life. Allegedly, branches have been falling off of the tree and, just the other plant life in general, and then leaves blow in and things like that. So this was Disney's way of trying to keep the pathway clear by putting up these massive 2x4s and stringing netting across the tops of them. The downside to these awnings is the fact that they cover up a good portion of the beautifully sculpted base of the Tree of Life. That was one of my favorite things about walking through the queue when it was originally It's Tough to Be a Bug, was getting to admire all of the beautifully crafted details within the trunk of the tree at the base of the tree, and you're so close to them. And a good chunk of them now are obscured by these huge 2x4s. Not all of them though, some of them have been spared. Specifically my favorite one, which happens to be the chimpanzee that's a tribute to Jane Goodall, who was a consultant for Animal Kingdom when it was being developed. I don't care much for how they had to change the entire lore of the Tree of Life, and I feel like the attraction feels misplaced inside the Tree of Life. And the reason why I feel that way is because when It's Tough to Be a Bug was built, it was built with the Tree of Life in mind. Keep in mind, the attraction opened with the park. You're shrunk down to the size of an itty bitty bug, and you're inside the base of the tree, and everything is huge to you because you're now the size of a bug, and you're gonna see all these bugs perform for you. The 3D glasses for the longest time were shaped like bug eyes, so that way you could be honorary bugs, and this was before they replaced them with the generic 3D glasses towards the end of the attraction's lifespan. How Disney tried to incorporate the Tree of Life into the current attraction, Zootopia Better Zoogether, to me just felt like a half-hearted attempt, because they didn't exactly know where else to put it unless they were to continue with another expansion of the park where they could add an entire Zootopia subsection of Animal Kingdom. That's my takeaway though. The half-baked nature of it all is especially prevalent inside the main lobby. As cute as all the fun little posters and boards are and the little jewelry display, it still looks just exactly like the inside of the tree as it was with It's Tough to Be a Bug, and they didn't do the best job trying to hide the fact that this is still just the shell of what the former attraction was. By far, I think the laziest aspect of the redesign inside the holding area would have to be what they did with the Dun Ball. They just covered it with white paw prints. Now personally, I don't know what else you could have done to it, to be fair, aside from just removing it altogether. I just looked at it the first time and I was like, really? And then when I looked at it the second time, I was just like, really? My second point against the attraction is the fact that you have Clawhauser as a host. Of all the characters from Zootopia, and there are a lot of likable characters in Zootopia, Clawhauser was one that did not make sense to me. I don't understand why they wouldn't have used Nick or Judy for this. It was so confusing, especially when you take into consideration that Clawhauser had such a small role in the first film. Perhaps that changed in the sequel, but I have not seen the sequel. On top of that, how Clawhauser was introduced at the beginning of the show just kind of annoyed me more than anything. And keep in mind, this was my first impression of the character before seeing the first film. When Heidi announces the VIZ for the Zoogether Day watch party and the camera pans over to Flash the Sloth, Clawhauser just pops in and he's like, oh my gosh, it's me, yay! And Heidi's just like, no. And then she just kind of is rolling with it anyway because he's way too excited. And to me, I'm just thinking to myself, this jerk. Like, this doesn't make me think, oh, you're just so fun and excitable and everything. I'm just thinking to myself, what gives, dude? And I was just kind of annoyed with him through a majority of the show. I don't hate him. Let me make that clear. Hate is a very strong word. I did not hate him. He's not the same level of nuisance as, say, Figment in the current version of Journey into Imagination, but he's up there. At least in my opinion. These next couple of points I'm docking from the attraction are more personal to me. This probably does not apply to everybody else, but I feel like it's something that I would like to bring into the discussion. And the biggest one for me would have to be the motion sickness aspect. So I don't do many of the simulator rides in either Disney or Universal because I get sick with a lot of the screen-based stuff. I don't do Soarin', I don't do Flight of Passage, I don't do Star Tours, I don't do Millennium Falcon, and I don't do the majority of the screen-based attractions at Universal. This is because I will get sick. I'll get really bad headaches, I get super dizzy, and then before you know it, I feel like I'm gonna pukey all over. 3D movie shows, I've, for the most part, never had an issue with. There's only a couple instances where certain scenes in 3D movies make me ill. Specifically when there's a lot of big dramatic movements and quick cuts and things are very fast paced. So long as things had minimal movement and they were for the most part low-key stationary, I was okay. At first with Zootopia Better Zoogether, it seemed like it was going to be just that. It's a watch party, you see Heidi, You get to experience the fun 3D effects with the wind cannons and her blasting the t-shirt cannon at you, and it's a good time. As soon as Clawhauser takes over and the actual live broadcasts begin, that's where the problem lies. Because the broadcasts are done in a more cinematic style, closer to that of like a legitimate short film or even a feature-length film if you want to go that far, there's a lot of big movements, there's a lot of fast cuts, there's a lot of different angles, and my eyes and brain simply could not compute. And you want to know the sad thing? When I saw it the first time, I figured, well, you know, it's early in the morning, I skipped breakfast so I can get into the first boarding group. Maybe it was just that. Turns out when I went to see it the second time, that simply was not the case, because despite me having a full stomach and going later in the afternoon, the same issues arose because I tried again. And it turns out that I cannot wear the 3D glasses for over half of the 9-minute film, which was so disappointing because it's like the point of the 4D movie experience is to be able to wear the 3D glasses for the majority of it. With Zootopia, I can't wear it for basically the whole middle section of the attraction. On a more sensory level, for all of my neurodivergent friends out there, obviously the show is very loud, as that's just the nature with a lot of these shows. I wear earplugs both times to see it, and that works just fine. And at least with It's Tough to Be a Bug, I never had an issue with any of the sensory things that they threw at me for that attraction, maybe with the exception of the little stingers that would stab you in the back when the hornets came in. And I was expecting the same thing from Zootopia in the sense that I wasn't going to be bothered by any of the 4D effects that they were to throw at me. In It's Tough to Be a Bug, when you encountered the stink bug character, the smell that would emit during that scene when he leaves was a burnt coffee smell. It's the same one they use in Journey into Imagination with Figment. Smells and attractions don't typically bother me. But when you encounter the character named Yax, who's the one in the tent that's like the hippie character, I think in the first film it was like the nudist colony because they're the only animals that don't wear clothes. They pump in the smell that I can only describe as a mixture of musk, rose, and incense. And it was so strong, and at least to me, putrid, I instantly got angry once I got a whiff of it. And at first I was just thinking, well, you know, it's early in the morning and I was already disappointed. And this is when I saw it the first time. Seeing it a second time and knowing what was coming and thinking, oh, maybe I was just being dramatic. No, I was not being dramatic. It is that bad, at least in my opinion. And that too just low-key ruined my day. And I'd like to clarify again, the smell effect and the motion sickness aspect, these are just things that specifically apply to me and how I felt experiencing the attraction. These may not even apply to you, but this does play a part in how I view the attraction as a whole. I just need y'all to understand that. And by far, my biggest issue with the attraction, outside of the issues I had with the queue and Clawhauser and feeling motion sick and good heavens that smell, it's the story issues and more specifically, how well the attraction fits into Animal Kingdom as a whole. Animal Kingdom, when it was built with the spirit of celebrating conservation as well as acknowledging the animals that we currently have in our world, the animals of the past like dinosaurs, and animals of the mythical and imaginary like dragons and unicorns. And while that last one never came to fruition, the best thing that we got close to that would have to be Pandora. Whether you liked It's Tough to Be a Bug or not, and I'm not saying that It's Tough to Be a Bug was the greatest attraction Disney's ever created. I could name a bunch of attractions in Animal Kingdom alone that easily top it in terms of quality. What I am saying though is whether you like the show or not, you cannot deny that it did serve one vital purpose, and that was to give spotlight to the insects of our world. Because let's face it, without them, it would affect animals, it would affect our plant life, and ultimately it would affect people, because like the song so elegantly put it, we would be living in shoulder-high waist. On top of that, despite it being an IP attraction, it had the benefit of being developed while the film was in development. They only took 2 characters out of the film and made it stand on its own as its own separate entity, and you didn't even have to have any knowledge of Bug's life to even enjoy the attraction. The IP was created to serve the attraction as its own separate being, and how the attraction was built catered to that too, and that specific experience. In order to make the Zootopia show work, they had to change up the lore of the Tree of Life completely in order to suit the show, which even at that some can argue was either done half-heartedly or it was just a complete lazy ordeal. With Zootopia, there is no message of conservation necessarily. In fact, the film's own central message about unity and peace, which is very prevalent in the first film and I assume the sequel, is just barely glanced over in the attraction. It's only really mentioned through the little song at the end, and that was basically it. I guess what I'm trying to say is that to me, when I watched the attraction, not just the first time, but also the second time, the main takeaway I got from it is that it just felt like I was being advertised to go see the sequel. And honestly, that's all I feel about the attraction, is that this is just one big commercial promoting the second film. And you might think, well gosh, gee whiz, that sounds a little crazy for you to assume. Well, would you call me crazy when I tell you that this attraction opened just a mere 19 days before Zootopia 2 was released into theaters? That's not a coincidence, that's marketing. I feel like the only reason this attraction exists is to just promote the second film, especially when you take into consideration, like I mentioned earlier, several of the characters featured within the attraction are made specifically for the sequel. It's Tough to Be a Bug wasn't the greatest thing in the world, don't get me wrong, but at least it served a purpose. It talked about how important insects are in our environment and to our ecosystem as a whole. Zootopia just barely glazes over its main message of unity and living in peace, which, as nice of a message as that is, has little to nothing to do with Animal Kingdom's main message as a whole. There is no telling how well this attraction is going to age over time, especially when it seems to deal with the exact opposite of what It's Tough to Be a Bug did. It's Tough to Be a Bug had its IP, serviced the attraction, and was able to stand on its own as its own separate little entity without having to be tied in directly into the film and having to have any knowledge of the film. Zootopia Better Zoogether is the exact opposite. The attraction was created simply to service the IP and to fill in seats and to promote their new product. Believe me when I say, I really wanted to like the attraction more than I do. Okay, I really did. When it comes to a good portion of the changes that Disney has been doing to their parks over the past several years, I've been extremely open-minded or indifferent. I try to see the good in everything, and while I was able to see some of the positives in Zootopia Better Zoogether, I just couldn't get into it, even after seeing the film. If you're a really big fan of the Zootopia franchise, this will entertain you just fine. If you have young children, this will entertain them just fine too. But as for me, I guess I was expecting something more, or something at least of the same quality as It's Tough to Be a Bug, because I don't think It's Tough to Be a Bug was a bad attraction. I actually really enjoyed it, despite how scary it could be. I think it's healthy for children to get scared every now and again. When I watched it the second time, and you probably heard it in the vast majority of the footage that I got from the second show, there was a family sitting next to me, and this little girl was so happy because it's Zootopia and it's cute, fun animals. As soon as Heidi Howler started blasting everybody with the t-shirt cannon, this poor child cried, "I don't want to do this anymore. I'm so scared." And that kid's family made her sit through the entire show while she screamed and cried that she did not like it. And it made me smile in a weird way, because I just thought to myself, even in It's Tough to Be a Bug's death, it's still finding a way to scare small children. So to sum my thoughts up, while there were some cute details that were thrown into the queue, and the actual film on a technical level is well made, and there are a lot of likable characters, and it was fun to see that they did retain a lot of the special effects from It's Tough to Be a Bug, the story has a ton of issues. I really dislike Clawhauser as a host. I was so disappointed with the motion sickness aspect, and good grief, that smell. And ultimately, I just don't think it was a very good fit for Animal Kingdom on a thematic level. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy St. Patrick's Day. If you have seen Zootopia Better Zoogether, what did you guys think? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. I am really intrigued to see what you guys have to say, if you have anything to say at all. I always read the comments. If I feel so inclined, I do tend to reply on occasion. So I would like to see. I'm open to discussion, so comment away. Be sure to tell your friends and family about the channel, and if you guys have any questions or you just want to say anything at all, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I do always read them. I may even reply. So until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye.